Wow, 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 wow. Hello guys, my name's Glamour Joe. Welcome back to a new Minecraft YouTube live stream on the Glamour Joe YouTube channel. We're live on Minecraft. We're on my Survival Legacy world. We've got some blocks on us at the moment which we just need to dump. I have been working on a build. I've been working on a build for a little bit, so hello Rafa, welcome to the stream. I want to do something useful, guys. I want to go and create something. So, I'm going to want some of those. I want to go and create a room in the house. Welcome to the stream, Rafa. How are you, Rafa? Let's go this way. Let's just promote that stream. I'm really good, thank you for asking, that's really kind of you. I'm just going to promote this stream in my Discord server. There we go. Perfect, put that link in. There used to be a bot that did it for me, but now the bot starts working in July, so I've always got to go and do the stream sort of. Every time I do a stream, I've always got to do the whenever I do a stream, I've always got to do the link myself now. I've always got to do like the stream links myself, which is slightly challenging. The bot used to automatically do it straight away as soon as I started a video, and now it doesn't. But I want to create a room down here. I'm gonna type Calamity Joe with my eyes closed. Cool. I'm gonna put a room. Can I put a room here, or do I just walk into something? I do, yeah. Hello, Daniel Semensky. Welcome to the stream. I'm really good. How are you? Hello, Copper Golem Gaming. Welcome to the stream. And hello, Tony Casino. Welcome to the stream. Right, I need to create a little room, guys. I need to create a little room. Hello, Joshua. Welcome back to the stream. I need to think of a place for a little room a minute. I need a place for a little room. Hello, Skatepunk. Welcome to the stream. I'm really good. Thank you for asking. How are you? Right, I'm just going to put that there. I need a room, guys. Because we got that room here where that should do. Oh. Is this the dirt room? So that's an issue. I'm grateful to your stream. Guys, I'm going to type Calamity Joe with my eyes closed. Cool. I'm grateful for you today. Oh, thank you. It's really kind of you. Alright, I'm going to do this, guys. We're going to have to take this stairs down a level. So can I do that? Can I get away with that? No. How are you doing today? I'm doing really well. What are you building? I need snow blocks. So what I'm doing is we're going to make a snow golem room where we basically have a load of snow golems in some blocks that we can go. How do you come up with these ideas? A lot of caffeine. I'm joking. I can't really tell you that actually, because I get my ideas from anywhere. Like, to get ideas, you need to observe. You need to come up. You need to just observe and look at things. So, for example, I've always wanted to. I want to build a windmill, but I can't come up with it. I want to build a boat on here. I want to build some large farmlands. It's basically things that I've seen. If I've seen something in real life that I like, I think, oh, I like that, then I want to build it. If you get what I mean. Okay, we've got some more stone bricks. That's good. This isn't a server, Techno 4923. 4932. This isn't a server. This is generally just my Minecraft world, and it's not crossplay. No, it's not Bedrock. It's Old Legacy Console Edition. It's Old Legacy Console Edition, so it's not crossplay as well. Yeah, this is not Bedrock's textures either, because Bedrock has completely different textures. I just said Legacy Console Edition. It's not either of them. I need stones. I need some more stone because I need some stairs. Hello, Vil Gamer. Welcome soon. I'm playing on Nintendo Switch. Right, so I've got enough stone to do what I want to do. I wish I had a better pickaxe though. Basically, my good pickaxe was broken, so... Well, it wasn't broken, but it's November. I know it's November. Pickaxe. Okay, we found a semi-good one. I don't know. Well, the aim is to hit 8K. The aim is to hit 8K by my 23rd birthday. The aim is to hit 8K by my 23rd birthday, which is next month, guys. So, did I do anything for Halloween? I put a clown suit on. For a little bit. Which, I put a clown suit on for a little bit. We are close to Christmas. Yeah. 50 odd days, I think. Is that really a Halloween costume? No offense, guys, but I don't understand people that dress up as just random stuff on Halloween. That's something I don't get. Halloween, I think people need to dress up as scary stuff, so I don't understand why people dress up as like superheroes. Batman, I understand, because Batman is more of a vigilante than a superhero, because Batman is more of a gothic orientated hero. Whereas, what do I do on Christmas? I go on a walk. A Christmas walk every year. I wore a Christmas hat that had a Santa beard one year, so a kid actually mistook me as Santa. True story. A kid generally mistook me as Santa. Oh, this is now. So we can't go there then. Why don't we go... But yeah, yes, I put a clown suit on. Guys, would you like to see what I took a photo of the clown suit? Would you guys like to see what it looked like? Let me find the right picture. Let me find the right picture first. It's image 1, isn't it? Oh no, that's... There you go. That's the wrong one. That was the wrong one. We've had to put stairs that go this way. Stairs that go... We've even got another flight of stairs that goes completely the other way. Initially, we were going to have stairs that way, but I suddenly realised that if straight under here, guys, is literally... Straight under here, guys, is literally... The, straight under there In fact, I think if we go much further this way, we're going to crash into the library. Oh, whoops. We still see the clown. Face reveal? That's not a face reveal. But that clown suit is literally a two-piece suit. So I hate it. Look, the clown suit's a two-piece suit. So the red bits thing, all of the everything else is literally like a onesie. Not like a onesie, but it's all like thing. I couldn't believe how fat I looked in the bloody the one side. I couldn't believe how fat I looked from the side in that clown suit. Especially with the red coat. The red coat hides it. The red coat hides it. I couldn't believe how that clown suit, guys, should be double XL. That clown suit should be double XL. Which that shouldn't fit. Double XL should not fit me. Right, I think we're probably underneath that now, which means I can probably do what I want to do. Your chat's disabled. Yeah. Is my chat disabled? That confused me, Pixar King, when you commented that. Because I saw other people in it. Do I like Doritos? I do. I haven't had them in a while, though. I haven't had them in a while. Please make a server. Well, I want to eventually, but those cost money. And they cost money that I don't have. Fart. I cannot fart right now. I haven't got one brewing, guys. I haven't eaten anything to fart, guys. All I've ate today, guys, is a sandwich. Is a ham and cheese sandwich. And part of this Cadbury's bar that I didn't finish yesterday. Right, so I'm hoping that we've got enough space now to make what I wanted to make. You are rich, right? Of course I'm not rich. You should make a hardcore world. I don't really like the idea of that, though. I don't like the idea of doing a... I would do it. I would do that as a concept. I would do that. I think we're gonna need more root. Okay, yeah. So absolutely 100% we have to have the roof here. So why don't I put in some stairs here? Servers cost money. I want to do a realm idea eventually, but you know, I've got to find a way to cover the costs. Yeah, they do cost money. They do cost money. I want to do it eventually. I just don't have the funds to do it at the moment. So it's like we've got a guy on my streams that tells me, on my Discord server, that tells me that my birthday wish is for Joe to get a server. But is that his wish? I was thinking, is that his wish? Or is it he wants me to get a server? Because who does the server benefit? Does it benefit me or does it benefit him? I have built parkour in places, but not a lot because I've never really been that good at parkour. Right. Some people might be wondering why I'm going this way, but oh, we took the wrong step. We shouldn't have taken this staircase. Didn't exist once upon a time. There we go. We can go through here. Go through here. There, and then we come out here. Now I need to take this staircase, go down this one, come down this one, go into this one, and then here. So what I need. Do you like Nintendo? Of course I like Nintendo. Actually, that's like saying, well, I think I've got to like Nintendo. I mean, I've played, they're the only video game consoles I've ever played. So now, I will need maybe some of these, just because we have them. What time is it for you? What time is it for you? It's 1:23 AM in Strobe, which is where I live. Oh, cool. No, I don't do that for my birthday, guys. I don't do that on birthdays. It's a thing that my family have always done, but go big at Christmas and small on birthdays. Big at Christmas, well, especially for me, guys, because literally my birthday is Christmas time. Like, there is. Do you plan to buy Nintendo Switch? Well, I would love to buy one, but I can't afford it, guys. Not at the moment, I can't. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm gonna have to think about this a second. Here we go. This is what I want to do. I want to go get some snow. And this is the plan. It's going to be... Some of you are probably wondering what we're building. Yeah, so what I'm talking about... There we go. So, what I'm talking about in a context is that what my family do... But you have a Switch 1. Yeah, I do. I do have a Switch 1. But you didn't ask me about the Switch 1, you said about the Switch 2. But yeah, what my family do, everybody, is go small at birthdays, big at Christmas. So, because, you know, some people spend ridiculous amounts, you know, massive big birthday presents, massive big Christmas presents. It's also a way of managing costs, you know. Go big at Christmas, but then smaller presents on your birthday. A guy in my college class did it completely different, which I thought it was quite clever what he was saying. That he would go big on birthday, small on Christmas, because then it's more about the person. Which, that's, you know, that's fair enough. Hello, Game Iger, welcome back. I changed my user. Oh, cool. I'm just going to go and grab some more snow blocks because we're going to need them. Oh, guys. I've just had a bizarre idea. We'll have 5 on each side, so... Is there a limit to how many snow golems you can have on a world? You're gonna get some coke, cool. Is there a limit to how many snow golems you can have on a world? Because I'm totally not sure. You don't need just worlds. No, I don't eat peanut butter. I don't eat a lot, guys. Like, even I don't eat a lot. There's certain foods that I just don't like. It's like, for example, I blew some people's minds on the streams yesterday, stating that across my whole childhood I never went trick or treating once. As an Everton fan, what did you think about Diego Jota died? Ooh. Well, no, I actually thought it was quite sad, because even though he played for Liverpool, you know, I actually really liked him at Wolves. They won with a clean sheet yesterday. They still weren't good. Like, I saw a little bit of that match, and they still weren't like particularly good. Like, they didn't. Even though they won, they only won because I think they only won that match because Villa are also really bad at the moment. Villa can't score, and it's sort of same with Liverpool. Liverpool can't score, and it was basically two teams who can't score, and one of them scored. Happy November. I wouldn't say they're back though, Slurp Games. That's like me saying Everton is back after a relegation battle, and after they've won one game for the first 7. I think Liverpool's problem this season will be a lot of their players are aging. So we're just gonna the snow golems, guys. Does any of you know this? Your stream is kind of stuttering. Is it? I don't know. It might be the. It just might be the Elgato. It might be the Elgato. Oh, just give me a second then. Just give me a sec. Let me just try and. Just reactivate. I'll just reactivate it. There we go. We need some light sources in here because it's dark, and I don't want mobs getting in here because I want to have snow golems down here. I don't want to have mobs get down here. So I'm going to go to the chest room. We're going to take a detour through this building, into this door here, through this door here, go into this room. I need to fix that. Deceptive made that one bigger. Might as well grab some extra stone, but where I really want to pop is to here. I used a lot. Well, we haven't got a lot of glowstone anymore because I used lots of it. We haven't got a lot of glowstone because I used a lot of glowstone in building the nether roller coaster area. So I want to put one here. There we go. That looks so weird. First things first. Next things next. We will need some glowstone. We need some more snow. Is that better now for you guys? I don't remember when someone was asking if you could buy them Minecraft because they're 14 years old. Oh yeah. I do remember that, Pixel King. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the stream. No, you don't need realms to create a multiplayer world. That's not true. You don't need that. I am out of snow blocks, guys. So, which is why we're creating this automatic snow room. But luckily, we have a mountain with snow on it. So I'm going to go over there. I need to create 12 pieces of snow. No, I need to create 20 pieces of snow. Yeah, sorry, Pixel King. What was your point on remember that when someone was asking you if you because they were 14, could you buy them Minecraft? Yeah, I'm going to create a channel realm eventually for channel members. I'm not ready in the position that I'm ready to do it though, guys. So right, we've got 15 pieces. Right, we've got 21 pieces. Come on, dog, you can come with me. Gotta get a stable income first. Well, I can technically do it now with like with obviously money that I have saved up, guys, and money from YouTube, but it's a lot depending on what one you want. Hello, Mason. Welcome to the stream. How are you, Mason? But yeah, it depends, guys. I'm gonna do it eventually. I can afford to do the realm thing. I'm just not entirely ready to do it. I just don't know what I want to do with it. Shit, that's not where I want to be. I need some more pumpkins. I'm alright. What about you? Oh, thank you. It's really kind. Well, it's good to see that you're well. Also, thank you for asking me. I'm really good. I need some pumpkins, guys. I need some pumpkins. Oh, poop. We don't have any. Do we have any in here? No. We've got 8. And we need another... Oh. That's right then. We've got 18 now. We've got enough. Right. So. We're going to go this way like this. Through here. Down here. Down here. Into here. Boom, 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 boom. So. First of all. First off, I need a way to get up to here for now. So now they will collect us snow blocks. Actually, can you leave for a minute? Firing squad. Now they're not a firing squad. They're gentlemen. They're going to be gentlemen for us. They're going to be very useful people. So, because we've got those stairs, in proper British fashion. Cool. Hello, British Pufferfish. How are you? I think we might need to do that, guys, because we're not going to be able to get to the blocks. So it will work like this. Oh, we will not be able to reach it. If I get rid of that, will they be able, if I get rid of this block here, will they be able to get out? I don't know whether they will or not. Hello, not James. Welcome to the stream. Right, let's just see if this works in a minute, guys. I need to see if they will be able to get out of there. I don't think they will. Actually, we could just do this. That technically works now. That will technically work. And it also means that we can do this. Oh, there's my shovel. Means we can get instant. Oh, hello, Demon MC. Welcome to the stream. Yo, gotta go. See you soon. But right now I'm busy, so I'm sorry I can't see this, and that's all right. Thank you for watching the live, a bit of the stream. That's really kind of you, and have a good rest of your day. So yeah, this is working pretty well, guys. Yes, that will work. I think we can also bridge that up then. Actually, to just give this, how much of that glowstone do we have left? Actually, no, we're going to need a little bit there, I think. But I think we can safely say that we can put some glowstone here. Let's take a bit of this. Let's take a bit of this because we've got some of these. There we go. And we've now got 28 snow from that. So, fantastic, eh? I think that's a good job, well done there. Can you just close the door? I need to move him a minute. So, I'm going to quickly go up, wrong direction. I'm going to go through here for 2 seconds. I want to go and grab a gate. Ladders, 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 ladders. Fences, and I've put... Do I not have oak? Oh no, that is oak. Bloody hell. That means no mobs can get in there. So, good. They will be getting us snow blocks, so we can now get as much snow as possible from that, which is a brilliant idea, guys. Actually, let's just go see a minute. I want to go and grab some... Hey, do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man? I mean, you're talking about the song? Give me a second, everybody. I just want some. I want to grab some redstone materials a minute. The Muffin Man. Yes, the song. I had some hoppers on me. I need them. I want to put some hoppers there so if it drops snow, it automatically collects it. But we had 3 in here. I suppose we could make more, but I've got absolutely no idea where these... here we go. Was there any chests in there? That would have been useful. I know where some chests are anyway, though. Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane? Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane? Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane? Yes, we know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane. Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane? Yes, we know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man who lives on Drury Lane. Good song. It's a good old song, guys. Oh no, we need it this way. I've made a bit of a mistake. We need no. Boom. Boom. And because it's 5, we can have 1 here. Because it is creepy, skate punk. The song is creepy. The story of the Muffin Man comes from a guy that used muffins as a way to kill children. There's a snow block under here. I must have placed that on accident, because it is it's a creepy song anyway. People think it's this happy song, and it's not. It's actually teaching people about stranger danger, because on Drury Lane there was a serial killer that was luring children with muffins down dark alleyways and killing them. So it's a scary song anyway, when you know the actual context. When you know the actual context of that song, it's quite a creepy thing anyway. Even without like knowing the meaning, the song's also quite creepy on its own. Oh my god. Bollocks. Yeah, I want to put the there we go, guys. So, oh shoot. What did I can't remember because I first saw Minecraft like 13 years ago. I can't remember. I would have been like 10. So I can't actually tell you. I can't actually tell you how I felt when I first saw Minecraft because it was a long time ago, guys. It was 13 years ago. I remember thinking it was so cool. I mean, it is cool. That's the whole thing. It is cool. Do you know what? Because of how big this base is now, guys, I don't even know where we are. I think we might be end of the river. Well, no, actually, no. We are under the thing. Actually, saying that we are actually under the Saying that we are actually under the what do you call it? I think that's a brilliant idea. I think for us, that's a brilliant. I think that's an absolutely brilliant idea. This means that we will from now on, we will be able to get unlimited snow from the house. It means that we never have to worry about. Guys, do you want to see a sneak peek from a video that's coming out in literally like? Do you want to see a sneak peek from a video that's coming out literally a month today? Do you guys want to see a sneak peek of a video that's coming out a month today? Because it's coming out for my Christmas content. Do you guys want to see it? So I'm starting to shoot Mindmas, which is my survival. So this is the library, by the way. Here, Charlie Cheese. I didn't know we named a dog Charlie Cheese. I couldn't remember doing that. This is the library. I built it a couple of months ago. I decided that I wanted to try building with like curves and things, so we built this. This is not the Christmas build, guys. This is not the Christmas build, but I totally forgot it existed. The only way I started playing modern Minecraft crazy enough was on Pocket Edition, and I'm old Minecraft. I was playing on PS4. I think it's auto corrected to on, from old to on, from on to old. I mean, I searched it up. You don't have to. It's the same as Xbox and Nintendo. You have to pay for the online services. You have to pay for the online services of Xbox and Nintendo. Obviously, Nintendo's cheap. Nintendo's literally £17 a year. Literally, what PlayStation is a month, Nintendo's basically a year. Yeah, I'll show you guys what I built. Funny enough, Pixel King, I started on Pocket Edition. I gotta be honest, hello Cole Broughton, welcome to the stream. I started out on Pocket Edition in 2014, so it didn't even have the nether then. Pocket Edition didn't have the nether or the end then when I started, because it couldn't run it. In fact, Pocket Edition had something called the stone cutter, because the crafting table couldn't handle all the recipes because of how bad it was. 1.50 as early as 1.15. Yeah, that's Bedrock then. 1.15 was Bedrock. It was when it became Bedrock. It became Bedrock in 1.13. So if it was Pocket Edition, it'd be 1.12. It'd be 1.12 pre 1.12. Well, 1.12 and pre. Yeah, literally, Nintendo Switch Online is £17 a year. Unless you want to buy a massive big expansion pack, which is £34 a year. But if you buy the individual Nintendo Switch membership online, it's literally £17 a year. It's literally £6 for 6 months. No, it's three. I think it's 3. No, I think it's £1 for a month, £3 for £3 for 1 month, £3 for 3 months. Then it's £17 a year or something like that. Yeah, Nintendo Switch made it cheap. Nintendo didn't want to add an online member, make you pay for online features, but Sony and Microsoft complained. So Sony made Nintendo had to make one. They made it, but they made it for cheap. So they made it so it's slightly cheaper. Here it is. The cheapest online membership is Nintendo Switch's individual membership, a 12-month plan costing £17.99. The Xbox Game Core is another budget-friendly option, which is £55 for a year. But £17, yeah, Nintendo Switch is £17 a year. Yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, Pocket Edition would be 1.12 Pixel King, because that's when Bedrock came out. Well, no, Pocket Edition is Bedrock. Bedrock Edition, it became known as Bedrock Edition. It became known as Bedrock in 2017, so 1.15 was after Pocket Edition. Pocket Edition was up to 1.12. So guys, I'm starting to film my Christmas stuff. Hello, the icon Livy, welcome to the stream. So guys, I'm starting to plan my Christmas content. So would you guys like to see what we just built? I'm starting to film my Christmas content for next month. So we made this. This is the winter. Obviously, I'm in my winter wonderland. So we made this. Build Santa. Well, I'm not going to build Santa today, but I'm starting to film my Christmas videos. So we made these. We made these candy canes, which they're all connected up via this. I flattened down a bit of a hill. So I flattened down a tiny little hill and got rid of a slightly bigger hill here. Which is why in the video when it comes out next month, you guys are going to have a laugh, because there's a hill here when we start building, and then halfway through the video the hill disappears. Because this hill was literally, there was a massive hill here, and it was right in the way of this me building this. So I didn't want to get rid of it, but then I sort of had to get rid of it. But we can build something here, like a little cottage, little hut or something. Literally though, we've got the candy canes here. We've got the candy canes here, and if we head over here, we've literally got the farmland there. Obviously, we're not going to do anything with this because it's just a swamp. We could get rid of the swamp and turn that all into snow, but I just can't be bothered. I suppose we could actually turn all this into Winter Wonderland and have it get to here, have it go all the way up to this lake here, but there's not really a point. I suppose if we did that, actually, if we did that, we'd go over to that river and then probably connect it up to there. But actually, let's just go and have a look. Does that actually do that? Does this river turn and connect up to that, to over there? Or am I just absolutely losing my mind? Do you know what? I think it might do. No, it doesn't. Actually, I know where we are now then. I know where we are. I know where we are because the river... the river turns here. How are you doing today? Hello, Angel. Welcome to the stream. What's that? Oh, just a lump of earth in the ground. So, I know exactly where we are now. So, saying that, it does actually. It does actually do what we thought it did. So the river nearly went down there then. So the river stops here. The river stops here. The river stops here, but then it continues on. So we were right. We were right. The river does actually go around to here, but then it stops here, and then it connects up. And obviously, I know that this river goes far. Then, obviously, this river then wraps around there, goes off into the lake, and then goes up further. Which, you know, it's a big lake. That means, you know, that these waterways are huge. By the way, this is a huge lake. We've got two huge lakes here. We've got that one. Obviously, arguably that one's bigger. This one feels more like a sea. We could actually drain that. We could actually drain that. The amount of land we'd have back. I mean, you could build a blue city on top of that. Not that we're going to do that, guys, because I lack the time, the effort, and the actual willpower to do that. But it's just a concept. But yeah, I love the Winter Wonderland. It's something that I've been building for years. I gotta go. That's alright. You don't have to stay and watch the stream for the whole time. Oh, I wish we had some of that snow blocks we got made. We could have used some there. But yeah, I'm starting to plan my Christmas content, and we have made... We've made some sugar canes. Maybe we should have a road through here, because it would line up. You know what? In fact, it would line up to here. Actually, it would line up. We're gonna go do that now. All I need is some dark oak and some birch. If it weren't for that, if it weren't for this igloo. If it weren't for that igloo, which we could get rid of, we could get rid of that igloo. Yeah, we'll do that. I was about to say, if it weren't for that igloo, we'd have a direct, the path would be 100% direct. But we've already got like 15 igloos across here. We don't need that many. In fact, these two never had also, getting rid of that igloo was a good thing. It means we've got the snow blocks now, haven't we? I think I know how to get every exact tutorial. If someone makes copies of them and they still have these copies, you find people with copies of each one. I mean, that would work, yeah. That would be a way you could do it, yeah. Right, so first things first, need to get rid of this. So I'm generally convinced that lines up, which that's just totally random. I didn't expect that would happen. I didn't know that was going to happen. So what do you think, guys? Actually, let's get rid of this igloo too. Potentially that. Let's get rid of both of them. It's because there used to be a castle across here. It's just that they're in the way. And plus, we've already got loads of igloos over there. I don't think we need any more. Maybe we can build something else here, like an ice sculpture or something like that, in the future. Right, we can turn that into snow. So, now I can go and do that. I like igloos. Yeah, we've got loads over here, but I'm just deciding to move this one, and perhaps we might keep that one. I don't know yet. I'm just trying to move a couple of them because I'm starting to every year at Christmas time I do something called Mindmas, where I upload 25 videos in 25 days. I've done it for I've done it for over 6 years. I had plans to do it in 2021, but my capture card broke. So even though we've only done 5, I still call it 6 because we started it in 2019. And I've started filming the content. We made this last night. We made these last night. These candy canes. So that we're starting to film our Mindmas stuff. But when we were doing that just then, I noticed that the path lines up. So I thought it'd be nice. If we do this. I thought it might be quite nice to see if we can put a path through it. Because the stairs does actually line up. Yeah, they do actually. Yeah, it does, guys. 100%. It lines up with the Do I still have those chests on us? Yes, I do actually. That's a good idea. Means I can go and dump all this a minute. If we dump all this a minute, if I dump all that in a minute, it means we can go and pick up all the snow blocks that we've put over here. And then we can go and get some dark oak wood and sort that out. Turn it on with the snow blocks. We're going to get a load of snow blocks from this, but also as well, these can go straight into the chest ready to be built for other stuff that we're going to build this year. Thank you to the people who subscribed, by the way. That's really kind of you. As it stands, guys, we are on the verge of hitting 7,500 by the end of the month. We are 250 away. No, 350 away, sorry. Sorry, I'm really bad at math. And yeah, the path will then go straight through here like that. Unfortunately, I don't have any birch wood on me. Actually, no. We would have chopped some birch trees down. When we were building across here earlier on, we had to chop a couple of birch trees down. If we have that, then we can make the wood to start here. When I come across here the other day, there was a chest somewhere here. When I come across here the other day, the chest in here was just filled with random stuff. Yeah, I thought it was filled with some birch wood. I ventured into here, so if we can find some birch wood potentially just dumped in here, that would have been amazing. I found some birch. There's a chest up there. But I doubt I've ever put anything in it. I don't recall putting anything in it. Should actually have a look, though. Doesn't it look cool, guys? The Winter Wonderland. Now, we do have a chest over here. With random stuff in it, but nothing that we would want. Well, nothing that we would want right now. So, there should be, in one of these chests, there was a chest that we tossed a load of stuff in. Nope. Unless we took it all back with us, but I don't recall doing that. Ah, there we go. 30 torches as well, that's nice. $44. Okay. That's good. We can work with that, guys. We can work with that. Thank you to the people who subscribed. We're aiming... Do you like dark chocolate? I don't, to be honest. I prefer milk chocolate. I'm back for a little bit. That's alright. Welcome back. I put my axe down over there, so I need to go and sort that one out. one more to be honest, to add to my photo collection. Blimey. Right, we're going to need a lot more birch, to be honest. So I'm just going to add more on there. Anyway, I might have put some more in here. There's a chest over here that I would have dumped stuff in. I dumped everything in there bar birch wood. Need to put some more here as well. Where are you, in a VC right now? No, I'm not actually in any VC. I'm not in a VC. I'm actually just here. I'm not in a VC. I'm just talking to the audience. I'm just talking to people in the YouTube live stream. I'm not actually in any VC. How the hell are Liverpool back at 3rd place after 5 games? They lost 4. Because Liverpool won their first 5, you know, 5 times 3, 15 points. Liverpool are back into 3rd because, you know, they won their first 5 games in a row. They won their first 5 games in a row, but, you know, they had 15 points, whereas that's, you know, that's very quickly to get to 15 points. You know, they won all 5. So, ha 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 ha. Sorry guys, I got a really itchy nose. There we go. YouTube's giving me an advert on my stream, and it's showing me an NHS advert about, you know, flu vaccines. Hello Minecrafter Z16, welcome to the stream. Right, what do we need, guys? We need dark oak and birch. So, do 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 do. I think 2 stacks should be enough. How much dark oak do we have? I think that should be enough to finish. So, we're going to head all the way back. Yeah, it's because we're doing another one of these paths. Well, it used to lead, the path itself used to exist, but we're extending it a little bit. I've started planning my Minecraft Christmas content, so my Christmas videos, and I've started filming them because I always start filming them in advance, like a month, potentially sometimes 2 months in advance. Bar 2023, where they were shot 8 months in advance because I got really ahead. Literally. This is our snowman. This is our big snowman, guys. I hope you guys love him. Welcome to the. This is the Winter Wonderland. Welcome to the Winter Wonderland. So, we had this stair. These stairs here were already here, but I've decided to line them up to what we built last night. Here we go. Now we've got to go and do the rest. Ooh. Elise is alright. I didn't think he was that good for Palace though. I was actually surprised that they bought him. I was surprised that Bayern bought him. Although I think Pedri's alright, but I don't think we've seen the best from him. Bellingham though. Bellingham I didn't think was very good. I never thought Bellingham was very good. up until he went to Real Madrid. Then for Real Madrid, he's been amazing. I build a Christmas tree every year. I started building this Winter Wonderland in 2019 because I was doing something called Mimus, where I would do 25 videos, 25 days. So I decided to build like a Winter Wonderland. Basically, this place, in 2019, this place was just a dump. This place was just a bit of land that I'd flat. Sorry, I've just hit the block behind me. In 2019, that place there was just a flat place that I'd basically flattened down and then never did anything with. So I decided to do something with it. We finished that with with one block to spare, so I built this last night, guys. These bits. Let's just run over to this chest a minute, so if we make a mistake, I've got my axe. There we go. Let's just close down our inventory a little bit. We've got to make sure that we've got enough dark oak, because unlike the spruce, the birch, I didn't bring as much dark oak as I probably should have. Hold on, 17 might actually be enough. There we go. And then now it goes straight through. Now we go straight through. And then it actually lines up with the fountain, which was totally unintentional. The path wasn't meant to line up with it, but it does. It just naturally lined up. You know, the heavens have opened, and all that stuff lines up. It's kind of like it's welcoming. This is kind of like another entrance to the This is kind of like another entrance to the Winter Wonderland, and it's welcoming you straight to the water fountain, to the ice fountain. I mean, we could technically have a path through here. Because our farming district is literally just there. Literally, the ravine that we have here is literally there. Elise is a good player, but I didn't think he was that good. So I didn't think he was that good for Palace. It's the same with Eberechi Eze. I didn't think Eberechi Eze was that good for Palace. But now, obviously, I might be wrong. I'm wrong, because obviously I'm an Everton fan, so I didn't see players. It's like that, the guy that plays for Palace at the moment, that Jean-Philippe Mateta. I never thought he was that good. I didn't think he was that good, and I remember Palace fans moaning about him, saying how good and how he wasn't good, and now he's really good for them. It's an interesting one. Sometimes, you know, players are bad, but then they go good. It's the same as Abdoulaye Doucouré. Doucouré wasn't very good for Everton in his first couple of seasons, but under Sean Dyche, you know, the guy bagged 11 goals. The bulk of his goals for Everton was under Dyche. I think he bagged 2 goals all season under Lampard, and then in one game he scored 1 goal for Dyche, 1 under Lampard, and then 1 game for Dyche he scored twice in 30 minutes. And the joke was, they said he basically doubled his tally for the whole season in 1 match. There we go. We're just going to do some little fine tuning across here. I don't know, to be honest, because I don't know. I can't say anything on that because I don't know who's up for it. I generally don't know who's up for the award this year. So yeah, I can't say anything in that regard because I don't know who's up for the award this year. Obviously, if there's an English player in there, I'd love for the English player to win it. But that's just me in general. This season's incredible. What do you mean? Based on how many players scored? Well, have you looked into older football slurp games? Have you looked into older football, like before they rebranded it to the Premier League? I think it would have been better then, because we say Erling Haaland's the top. We say Erling Haaland's the top goal scorer, but he's not. Dixie Dean's the top goal scorer. Basically, they've scrubbed all they've tried to scrub all the records. They've basically tried to scrub all the top flight records. They don't say that there were players that scored more goals than Alan Shearer. In the top flight of English football, so what is now the Premier League, there's more people that scored more goals. So, for example, we say that Alan Shearer has the most goals in the top flight. He doesn't. It was Jimmy Greaves. Jimmy Greaves had 357. But because he played in the 1960s and before the Premier League started, they've now scrubbed the records. Alan Shearer scored 20 goals in the old top flight. So Alan Shearer's record is actually Alan Shearer's record in the top flight is actually 283. But they've in recent years tried to scrub all the old top flight records. I had basically, guys, the reason we got a load of snow here is I had a snow golem across here. I had a snow golem across here yesterday because I needed more snow, and he's left a mess. Yeah, Harry Kane is second, but basically they say the top flight, Harry Kane's the second highest goal scorer in the top flight, but he isn't. There's players that have scored more top flight goals, but they've scrubbed the records because the Premier League has only been called the Premier League has only been going for 20 years, for 30 years. The top flight of English football, league football in the UK, has existed for 130 years. So the old top flight of English football, before they rebranded it to the Premier League, the top goal scorer was Jimmy Greaves, 357. But now they've turned around and basically scrubbed all the records of that. Like, they've only mentioned Dixie Dean recently on the Premier League thing because Erling Haaland, they were predicting Erling Haaland to try and beat his record, but Haaland scored 36, Dixie Dean scored 60 in one season. Like, I mean, guys, Dixie Dean bagged 60 goals. Dixie Dean bagged 60 goals in one season. despite the fact that, you know, he'd been in a motorcycle crash. I like the candy canes. Thank you. We've got a couple over there, but I built some much more detailed ones as well, which these ones were built today. The ones over here, well, there we go. So these ones were built in 2019. The ones over there were built a couple of days ago. Well, were built last night before I went to bed. Just going to put my controller down for 2 seconds while we jump into this Minecraft bed. And I'm just going to check Discord because I'm getting a load of notifications. It's all in the staff chat. Oh, it's just people talking about Fortnite, which I don't play Fortnite, so I'm not really bothered. I just pulled my sock out because it slid off and it bent my toe back. Ouch. There we go. So, let's close this door. I like it. Let's go back over here a minute. Grab the stuff in this chest. Do I have a... What the hell? That's just a random question to ask me. That's what somebody mistook me. Somebody mistook my YouTube name as that once. Somebody mistook my YouTube name as that once. Presumably because they... Where's stone bricks? Ah, there we are. I need to pick up this stuff. How do I do that? What can I toss, guys? Here, we'll toss this. There we go. The sticks. There's a lot of sticks there. We need those as well. No, this guy was a bit weird. He called me that, and then he joined a stream a few months later saying Minecraft gives him a boner. So let's just say I blocked that. I banned that guy from commenting because he used to comment some really, really bizarre shit. So, I'm gonna go into this is the Jack Frost restaurant, by the way. So we got a snowman, and he's basically meant to be trying to take his hat off. Yeah, there's some you have weird people on YouTube streams, guys. Do you know this? How I've done this effect that you think it's water, it thinks water all the way down. It's actually ice because you can't see ice and water. If there's ice underwater, you can't see it. So it looks like we're floating. It looks like we're floating, but it's actually that you can't see water under ice. Thank you. A lot of these big snowmen were built in like 2019. This one was the biggest. It took me... You can actually go into this one. This one here you can go into. The whole point was to have it as a hotel. So this one here you can actually go into. Wow, you can go into it up until about here. Maybe I should take the stairs out and then do something else with this. Maybe we will do it. Maybe we will do it this year. Don't know. That's a snow globe, by the way, guys. Before I had dreams of making a before I had dreams of making a huge snow globe. Before I had dreams of making a big snow globe, I made that one. That's something I want to do, make an aquarium. I've designed one of my ideas where I designed my ideas. You can see the tree again, guys, the jungle tree left on the top of the hill. I said, it always draws your eyes to it. It's so weird. I love it though. So before, can we see that snow globe from here? You can't. This is a point where you'll be able to see both of them. We need to get over here though. So we made that snow globe over there, which the small one, and then, but it wasn't what I wanted, and then eventually I made that one, and that was that was what my whole intention was the whole time. But what I made in 2019 did not compare to what I made in 2022. So 3 years later, I built something completely different. And I still love it, guys. I think I want to create another glass ball like that and do something fun with it. Like I've just had the coolest idea in the history of the world. Maybe we make a glass dome like that, but then we put a bit of bedrock in the bottom, because I've got bedrock from a glitch where you could use pistons. Maybe we put bedrock, then this, then stone, then this, bits of diamond, and eventually lava, water. But then basically the whole point is eventually we're making like a level above ground. Maybe we do that. That's a really cool idea. Look, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down in my ideas book. And knowing me, guys, glitch. There was on Legacy Console Edition. There was a glitch. On Legacy Console Edition. Let me just write that down a minute. Oh my god, guys! I just found some bits from the doll maker. The circumstances. I just found some of my in my notepad. Literally in my notepad, I found bits from the doll maker that when I write books, guys, I write it out in paper first. The circumstances surrounding Screwdall's death had confused everyone. Detective Kane, talking with Detective Superintendent Roger Brown, confessed about how bizarre the case had become. There's physically no way he could have done it, he said. His DNA is on the body, but he's in prison. I have to agree, this is the bizarrest thing I've ever seen, Brown responded. I can't read any more out. Bonus doll maker. Yeah, that's somewhere in one of the later chapters, but that's literally that I read that out. That was actually in my handwriting in my notepad. That was literally in my handwriting. I read that out from my handwriting, guys, because that was something that I wrote. I write it out in let me just write that idea down. Ball. Ball Minecraft World Biome. There we go. There we go. Cool. Yeah, the doll maker, guys. That was literally a part of a chapter that I wrote out, because I sometimes write it out in pen and then go through and yeah, sometimes I won't, but sometimes I will write it out on paper. So the bit that we read about Michael David Sinclair, the guy that goes to prison for murdering his girlfriend, Sally Lewis, in the chapter that we read the other day, that entire bit was wrote on a bit of cardboard. No, I mean card. It was written on card because that was the only thing I had. that whole sequence of him being the whole sequence in the story about him being interrogated in the interrogation room by Detective Kane, well, being interviewed in the interrogation room by Detective Kane, that whole bit was written on a piece of card. Yeah, it was written on a piece of card, and believe it or not, I think I have that card somewhere. No, I actually have bits of the doll maker that I printed out. Oh, here it is. Can you think of any reason she might want to come home? Well, no, Mrs. Seagrove responded. Answered. She had promised Megan she would be there to watch Megan's rugby game last night. She never missed any of Megan's rugby matches or Aiden's football matches for Finchton FC. She was there when he played last week. Our Aiden plays as an attacking midfielder. He's just started that role with manager Gary Smith, having moved him in from left wing. Sorry, as I was saying, she saw him score a bicycle kick last week against Clinton Rovers. It was a great goal, wasn't it, love? How our boys scored from there. Mind you, he's only 5'7", and it was a great goal against that 6'6" keeper. He wasn't saving it, was he, love? Mrs. Seagrove said, going off on a tangent. Yeah, darling, it was great. That goalkeeper, what was his name? Noah Phillips, wasn't saving it. Our boy hit it like a bloody cannon with that wonderful left foot of his. Honestly, detective, you should have seen it. You should have seen it, Mr. Seagrove responded. If we could go back to the main subject of the interview, Olivia, does she have any enemies that might want to do her harm? Asked Detective Kane. No, well, there was this Jenny Lovely, this mean girl when she was 11, said Mrs. Seagrove. Your daughter is 21. Does Mrs. Jenny Lovely still live around here? Oh no, she moved with her parents to Vancouver, Canada in 2016, Mrs. Seagrove replied. Oh, so no current enemies or people willing to do her harm. Got that noted. Thank you for your time. Oh, this is actually that whole chapter. I'm not a bully and I did not kill. Jesus. What's this? Meanwhile, Detective Kane had been called to a crime scene. When he arrived, he immediately walked over to one of his colleagues, Detective Smith. What have we got here then? He asked. Well, we've got a 25-year-old male who's fallen out with his girlfriend. Well, he's here, she's not. Work it out, Detective Smith said smugly. Any details? Well, we got a 25-year-old male who's fallen out with his girlfriend. He's here, she's not. Work it out. Jesus. I tried to add little bits of comedy in there, so the bit about, oh well, there was this one girl and going off the tangent, because it is a bit of a harrowing read. It is a tough read, technically, everybody. It is a tough read. The Dollmaker's is a tough read because it is a very harrowing read. A lot of shit happens. Right, let's go find the nearest Minecraft bed, guys. Whoa, perfect. So, how is everybody on this stream? We've got 6 people watching. 250 of you who watch this stream. Jesus. I just want to check something, guys. I want to see if we can hit 40,000 views by the end of this month. So we've got, obviously, another 28 days, which is incredible, guys. So, I want to thank everybody, for all of you guys, for all the stuff you've done over this past month, guys. 1,700 of you watched this channel yesterday. Bloody hell. We're going to be at 40,000 in no time, guys. I'm just getting Discord messages a minute. I'm getting a lot of Discord messages through because people are talking and I get the notified. La 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 la. La 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 la. I don't think we're gonna need this dirt, so we can toss the dirt away. listening. Oh, I didn't know anyone. Yeah, I'm getting a load of notifications, guys, from Discord. Not from my server, from my friends, because everyone's... My server's quite quiet. My server's always quite quiet, which... I think we can. We're 850 away. Plus, we get roughly 200 a month, so I think we'll probably get there. Which I would love to see if we could. We will be doing Throwback Thursday this week, everybody. We're going to start Lego Batman. We will start Lego Batman. Because we finished Lego Star Wars at the end of the last stream. So we'll start with Lego Batman. So, it's only a matter of time, that's true. Oh. You should do Wii Fit again. That Wii Fit board got my weight wrong. That Wii Fit board got my weight wrong by... It underestimated my weight by almost £10. Which is so funny though. I loved that stream, but that's something I probably wouldn't do again. Well, I would do it again. I wouldn't do that for 8k though. I'd do it for like 10k. Because I'd rather find something else to do for 8k. Yeah, Lego Batman, a game that can never be replaced. So we're gonna do that. We start Lego Batman the video game on Tuesday. Sorry, Thursday. Throwback Thursday. Climate of Joe's Throwback Thursday. We're going to do a lot of content at Christmas time, guys. Christmas is where I normally just give you as much content as possible, just because I'm generous. I give you guys a lot of content at Christmas time. I think at Christmas time I normally shoot like 40 odd videos. I want to take this stone because then we can turn it into stone bricks, because we don't have a lot of stone bricks and we might want to build out of it. Yeah. Nobody within the next decade. Yeah. I want the UK to change in the next decade, personally, guys. I want the UK to hurry up and finish the HS2. Literally, the UK is building a... The UK, it's taken them 6 years. They're building a high-speed train line. The UK are building a high-speed train line that goes from London... I wouldn't say that, Skatepunk. The UK... Well, the UK's alright. The problem with the UK is that... The problem that most people have with the UK now is the government. For the last 30 years, you've had, immigration where basically, lots of people have come in. But a lot of people in the UK are pissed off by... There's a lot of people in the UK now that have just refused to learn English. So, for example, I had somebody shout at me because they were, I think they were Romanian. Lived in the UK for however long, didn't know a word of English, and they started shouting at me because I couldn't. They were asking me for directions, and I couldn't. I can't speak Romanian or understand Romanian. So they somehow managed to ask me directions in English, and then they turned around and couldn't understand me anyway. Like, where is this place? And I pointed them in the right direction, and they couldn't understand me, so they walked off. And apparently it's wrong, but that's the one thing that people have the problem with the UK now, is that the UK is changing. The UK is not the best it's ever been. The best it's ever been was, 100 years ago, when the best the UK's ever been officially would have been 100 years ago. The best the UK's ever been was when it was the British Empire. If you get what I mean, the best the UK's ever been was when... The best the UK had ever been officially would be when in 1920. In 1920, the British Empire was at its largest extent. 80% of the world was under the British Empire. That's when Britain would have reached its peak, its best, if you get what I mean. If you get what I mean, the UK would have been, that's when the UK would have been at its best. That's when it would have been at its best, when it reaches its peak. So America's peak would have been the 1990s. America's peak would have been, at the moment, would have been 1990. Because, the Americans were up in 1990, the Americans was, America was basically the undisputed country, most powerful country in the world. But it's an interesting thing, like what you just said about the UK. The UK basically starting to fall apart started with America, which is an interesting one, because after the Second World War, America basically became a superpower, but the UK, it got to the point the UK were forced to give up most of the British Empire, to the point they got stabbed in the back by the Americans. Which is an interesting thing, like, they call it the special relationship, but then America in 1956 stabbed Britain straight in the back. Which is a really interesting bit of history. In whatever it was, in 1950, they gave Egypt independence, but they still had control over the Suez Canal because British and I think it was French and British businessmen owned it because they made it or something like that, and it was nationalised by Egypt, so all the British and French businessmen who on it lost all their money. So Britain and France obviously plans to topple the dictator of Egypt, who eventually I think got toppled 20 odd years later. Great Britain, France and Israel planned to invade Egypt and topple the Egyptian president that was president for a very long time. They had a plan to topple him, but the Americans stabbed him in the back and forced him to withdraw. And it's an interesting one. That was what they called the nail in the coffin for the British Empire, because they thought that the Americans would let them do it. It's an interesting part of history. But it's an interesting thing, guys. America can sometimes be quite thing to the UK. They forced Britain to withdraw from Egypt. Britain and France to withdraw from Egypt. But then they forced Britain. Then they forced Britain in 2003 to wiretap the UN to secure a war in Iraq. Which I find that really interesting. That when Britain went to war with Egypt, they forced them to withdraw. But then 40 years later, they forced the UK to wiretap the UN to make sure a vote to go to war with Iraq happened. Interesting bit of history of how, you know, there's a contradiction. This is it, the Suez Canal Crisis, 1956. This is it, 1956. Well, they call it the Arab-Israeli War, but it was actually... It was a British, French and Israeli invasion of Egypt, 1956. The object was to reopen the Suez Canal. Well, the United Kingdom and France offered us put a joint ultimatum for a ceasefire, and then they just decided to help. Then they decided to invade as well. They had their whole plan to introduce. They had a whole plan to overthrow the Egyptian president. He'd been president for 2 years. But he'd led an overthrow of the Egyptian monarchy 2 years before that. Which is an interesting part of history that, yeah, they tried to overthrow him because he was what they thought was a dictator. I mean, he was president for 16 years. He was his own prime minister for 3 years. He was his own prime minister. No, actually, he was his own prime minister for 8 years. He was his own prime minister for 8 years. He was his own prime minister again for 3 years. That's just bizarre, isn't it, guys? So you're president and prime minister. That basically means you're a dictator because you've got the power. You've got the power of the presidency and then the power of government. Interesting. They need to get another pharaoh. Well, Egypt's not a monarchy anymore. Egypt hasn't been a monarchy for centuries. They haven't had pharaohs for thousands of years. The last pharaoh was Cleopatra after Rome invaded. Then they had kings, which obviously their monarchy ended with a revolution in 1952. Because 4 years afterwards, 4 years after the ousting of their last monarch, the UK, France and Israel invaded, trying to topple the president of Egypt, because he'd nationalised the Suez Canal, and French and British businessmen that owned the Suez Canal, parts of the Suez Canal, they'd lost all their money. Egypt and Israel went to war, and then Britain and France decided to go and help them. And America stabbed him in the back. Because nowadays, because of what's going on, America would probably back him. But 1956, they refused to back him. Yeah, ancient Egypt is really fun history to learn. I keep getting Discord notifications. It's all in Decepted server. Decepted's just talking about Fortnite to somebody, so I've just responded gay. Da 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 boom bam boom bam boom boom zoos. Akaten. It's Akaten, I think. Could be Amen. I'm not that familiar with Egypt or all the Egyptian gods. Do I like tacos? Do you know what? Bro doesn't even greet me. Sorry, I didn't see your comment. I wasn't looking at Discord. I wasn't looking at the stream chat. Hello, to end the game. No, I haven't. Not that I didn't greet you. I didn't read it. I hadn't read the comments. I mean, the man that created. Athium. Yeah, I'm not familiar with every single ancient Egyptian thing. I know most of it. Well, not most of it. No one knows most of it because, you know, it's thousands of years ago. Like, not everything in history is recorded. If I broke my nose, it's not recorded in history. It's just, oh, he broke his nose. Not everything's recorded in history. So, you know, King Henry VIII could have had a 7th wife, but they never told anybody because it wasn't written in the history books. Obviously, he didn't have a 7th wife because that would have been in history. 345 gods were found there. Yeah, they had 2,000 gods. They had over 2,000 gods. There's been 3,000 gods. The world has seen 3,000 gods, but nowadays we say there's only one. Because one religion basically wiped out the others. It's an interesting thing about how religion does that. Religion does wipe out other religions. Christianity basically wiped out what the Roman gods, the Greek gods, Egyptian gods. Obviously, Islam did the same thing. I'm not. Mainly in Europe and like Africa, you only really have Christian. It's an interesting thing, like in Europe, Christianity basically wiped out or the old religions. It's the same with Africa, pretty much. Northern Africa, pretty much with Islam. Islam did the same thing, pretty much wiped out the other religions. It's a bit different in like. It's a bit different with It's a bit different in like Asia, where you know Hinduism and Buddhism basically and Sikhism basically thrived, and you know there's still other religions in Japan because Japan is called the only country that was never colonized. But then people blame colonization, but colonization was everywhere. Everybody got colonized. Even the UK got colonized by the Romans. You can't go and blame colonization because that was basically the norm back then. Colonization and expansion was basically the norm. Like I said, I love history, but it makes me laugh when people say that, oh, all this could have been done without colonization. Nothing can be done without colonization. Hey, we better listen to this Britishman. They know a lot about colonisation. But yeah, even Britain was colonised. That's the whole thing. I was saying about colonisation in the terms of they complain about it, but everyone did it over, you know, tens of thousands of years. You know, it started with tribe versus tribe. Then it was obviously village versus village, town versus town, city versus city, and then kingdom versus kingdom, empire versus empire. It's an the history of it's incredible. The thing is, though, with colonisation, guys, is yes, Britain did a lot. Yes, but it was Spanish. It was a Spanish island, but then they won it from the Spanish. It's an interesting thing. America claimed to have ended colonialism, but then the amount of countries, the thing, like yeah, quite a few of those places. I think it is a territory. I don't think American Samoa is. I think American Samoa's just got the name, unless I'm mistaken. Oh no, it is a US territory. I wasn't aware of that, though. I thought it was just... Hawaii's another one. Hawaii was found by the British. Hawaii was an island that was found by the British. It was part of Britain. They gave it independence, and then America annexed it 50 years later. Hawaii was another one. Yeah, British Hawaii. Hawaii was British. Hawaii was under occupation in 1843. I thought it had more than that. It's an interesting one. Hawaii's an interesting one. I don't know. Hawaii's an interesting one. Great Britain occupied it. Then the American warships went there to guarantee Hawaii's independence. Then 50 years later, they they annexed it. They annexed the island themselves. Which America, we were talking about this just now, about how America will often stab the UK in the back, even though they got the special relationship. In Great Britain and France, who built the Suez Canal? Yeah, the Suez Canal was built by France and the Egyptian governments. The Suez Canal was built by the French and British government. Yeah, France. France built the Suez Canal, and then obviously France and Britain, British businessmen ran it for a long time. And when Egypt got independence from Great Britain after the end of the Second World War, they nationalised it, which obviously in the 50s causing all the French and British businessmen to lose their money. The Americans stabbed the UK in the back then because Britain and France, with the help of Israel, invaded Egypt with the plan of ousting the Egypt's dictator. He's one of my best friends. Cool. Yeah, Egypt had a president that took over by military revolution, and he was president for like nearly 20 years. And the UK and France and Israel tried to oust him, tried to oust him. by military invasion, and America stabbed them in the back and basically forced them to withdraw. And it actually, France, surprisingly, guys, they cut all, I think, I can't remember who was French president at the time. France cut all ties with the United States. They cut all diplomatic ties because they thought that America was trying to lord them over. It's an interesting one. It actually that actually hammered Anglo-American relations. It's an interesting part of history. And yeah, the United States claim they didn't do colonization, but they did. I mean, they made Libya. They made Libya. They stopped Britain from occupying Hawaii and then annexed it themselves, which was pretty funny. That is funny though. They stopped Britain from occupying Hawaii in 1843, and then in 1890 decided to annex Hawaii themselves, which is why Hawaii has the British flag on it. Which is why the Hawaiian state flag has the British flag on it. Which is an interesting part of history. Yeah. Funny. One of the funniest things in history I've ever read is the Pig War. Yeah, Hawaii was occupied by the British in 1843. America sent warships to go and save the independent Republic of Kingdom of Hawaii. Then 50 years later, they decided to annex it themselves. So 50 years earlier, it was let's stop the British. Let's stop the British from occupying this land. 50 years later, we're gonna save this monarch's land. 50 years later, fuck the monarch. This is our land now, and I find that hilarious. This is just English in a history lesson. Well, the Pig War is pretty interesting. You know the 49th parallel across from Canada and the United States. It was going to initially. It went down the Mississippi River, so a little bit of Oregon, part of Oregon was known as British Oregon, and the guy that was governor of British Oregon, he thought the United States had basically violated international treaties by they sent people to go and live there, so that the British they would outnumber the British 6-1, which nowadays that would be illegal. That would be like Israel in Palestine. Nowadays, guys, that would be illegal. That would be the equivalent of what Israel did in Palestine by building illegal settlements over the borders. Nowadays, that would be illegal. That would be the equivalent of America building a town in Canada and then claiming lordship over it, which is a really interesting point of view how things change in history. And then they drew the line. So they drew the 49th parallel line, a straight line across Canada, across the board, which became the border of Canada and the United States. They didn't know whether it was that it went to this channel, so they didn't know. There's an island which they didn't know whether it was American or British. They didn't know whether it was American or British, and so Britain and America both laid claim to it. Both laid claim to it, and it resulted in an American farmer shot a British man's pig. An American farmer shot a British man's pig, or something, or the British farmer shot an American man's pig that was on his land, and it resulted in they almost went to war over it because an American guy that eventually fought in the American general that was a Confederate in the American Civil War, he almost caused a war between Britain because he heard about this pig shooting. And he was that angry, he went there to cause a war. but the top American general, whoever was head of the American armed forces at the time, he turned up and he went ballistic because he could not believe that you almost caused a war. And the joke in this video is you almost caused a war with the most powerful navy in the world over the shooting of a farmer's pig. And the American general was fuming because this American general, he almost caused a war over the shooting of a farmer's pig, which I love that. I love that. It's just how stupid it is. He had the Pig War of 1859. The Pig War was a confrontation in 1859 between the United States and the United Kingdom over the British-US border in the San Juan Islands between Vancouver Island, present-day Canada, and Washington Territory, present-day state of Washington. The Pig War, so called because it was triggered by the shooting of a pig, is called the Pig Episode, the Pig and Potato War, the San Juan boundary dispute, or the Northwestern. There was no human casualties on both sides. It's an interesting historical point of view. The San Juan Islands were awarded to the United States following a third-party arbitration by the German Empire in 1871. But yeah, present Washington State should be part of Canada, because it was basically British controlled. If that had happened nowadays, that would have been an illegal occupation by the United States, which is such an interesting point of history. That yeah, if it had happened nowadays, it would be the equivalent of equivalent of sending troops. It'd be the equivalent of what Israel did in the West Bank, like building settlements and towns on the occupied land. It would be the equivalent of that. America sent troops into land they didn't own. Sent people, so they outnumbered the people, and then the British couldn't guarantee holding it. So the British obviously then were like, fine, here, have your straight line across here. What's above this line is ours, what's below this line is yours. It's an interesting point of history that, yeah, you would not get away with that now. Now, I never understood, though, why Alaska is part of the United States. That's the one I've never understood, though. Because obviously Russia sold it to Thing. The only reason Alaska is part of the United States is because Russia didn't want to sell it to Britain. Russia didn't want to sell Alaska to Britain, so they sold it to the United States. But Alaska is closer Canada than it is United States. It's basically a tiny bit of land that probably should go to Canada, because it's just literally it's literally next to Canada. It's actually, you have to go through Canada to get to Alaska. Yeah, you cannot drive to Alaska without going through Canada. It's just bizarre. It's an amazing bit of history that, yeah, Alaska got sold to Canada, to the United States, because they didn't want, tensions between Britain and Russia were really high at the time. So Russia didn't want to sell Alaska to Canada, and to what is now Canada, which was obviously the British Hudson Bay Company, whatever they called it then. They didn't want to sell it to Great Britain, so they sold it to America. So that's why they call it Russian America, because Alaska was once Russian. It's weird. I've never understood this, guys, and I think you guys will find this funny. They always said that America was back in the day. America was out of range of Russia's nukes, but if you fire one from the one side of Russia to the other, if you fire one from Russia into Alaska, it's literally 55 miles. So America wasn't out of range. America was never out of range. I don't get how they say America was out of range from a Russian nukes at the time, because literally Alaska to the one across the Bering Strait is literally 55 miles. You could literally build a bridge across that one. Maybe not a bridge, but you could build a train line across that. If you wanted to, guys, you could create the longest train line in the world. You could build a train line by doing a tunnel on the Bering Straits. Can you speed bridge? Not on this version. This is Legacy, not Bedrock. Literally, guys, if you were to make a train tunnel on the Bering Strait, you could literally create the longest train line in the world. You could create a train line that goes from the United Kingdom. You could do a train line that goes from the United Kingdom all the way to America. It would go United Kingdom, France, literally the United Kingdom, France, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, Poland, Ukraine, Russia, America, and then Alaska, Canada. Lava speed bridge. I don't think you can do that on this version. Oh my god, my back, guys. Literally, yeah, you could, if you wanted to, you could create, it could be called the trans... Daily Star's just put, reason Putin can rule Russia until 97 while Trump will be kicked out of office at 82. Because America have term limits. But Russia can get, the Russian government can give people more term limits. So he was given 2 more term limits. Is your back okay? Yeah, it's because my chair is really bizarre. My chair is really bizarre, so if I'm trying to type, my arms aren't long enough. My arms aren't long enough, guys, to type and have my back on my chair. I've got to always sit forward with nothing bracing my back because my arms aren't long enough to reach the keyboard. Well, they can reach the keyboard, but it's slightly hard to... It slightly feels weird. It feels like the screen's really far away. Yeah. Oh. It's interesting though. Russia, you can get more chairs. I could use a different... Yeah. I like my chair though, guys. I like my chair. It's a nice... I've got to be honest, guys. I like my chair. I like my chair because it's leather. It's because it's leather and it's really nice. And I bought it from, and plus I bought it because someone was selling it down the street. Someone was just selling an old chair down the street. It was leather and it wasn't damaged. It was basically a really nice chair. And it's plus, it says it was made in 1999 on the back of the chair. So the chair is 26 years old. Imagine how many people have sat in this chair in 26 years. Imagine how many people have sat in that chair, guys, in 26 years. It's a nice chair. I fell asleep in it once. Thank you to the people who subscribe, guys. We're 47 subscribers off hitting 7,200. I think we can safely say that we'll probably hit that. We're probably at 7,200 by the end of the month. We're going to aim for 7,300 to 7,500. We're 347 away. I would love to see if we can hit that by the end of the month. We're 347 away from the goal. Chairs are comfy though. If I wanted a chair, guys, I'd love one of the ones we had in college. They could go back. They could be literally vertical, so your back's pressed against it, or they could just go back as far as possible. They could go back really far, so they were really, really comfy. I loved it. In fact, my last chair, guys, broke. My last chair, I've had this chair for years, but I didn't have a chair for a long time. I had to get rid of this chair because it didn't fit my bedroom, so I had to move things around. Now it's back. But I didn't have a chair for 6 months earlier on in the year, to the point that because my chair broke. So when I was streaming for 6 months, I was actually sat on the floor. I sat on the floor and streamed for you guys. That's how legendary I am, guys. I sat on the floor and streamed from the floor. Which is just mental, really. Even without the show must go on, even without a chair. Yeah, I streamed from the floor for 6 months. I mean, I broke my bed this year, guys. I bought a new desk this year. I broke my bed to the point that I stepped on it and then it cracked on one side. Literally, man's a fat ass. And all I did, until I got a new bed, I just put the mattress on the floor. Yeah. Do you know what, guys? I bought a new bed for 50 quid. I was pretty proud of myself. You don't have to go expensive when you know where to look. I love that build, guys. I really like that. Maybe we should build some more of these. I don't know, though. Oh, God. So if you're saying with Thanksgiving, we don't do Thanksgiving in the UK. I shocked a lot of people yesterday by saying that the UK. Somebody asked me about Thanksgiving the other day, and I said, "Well, the UK doesn't celebrate it." The only thing we have is Black Friday, which because Walmart own Asda. Walmart own Asda in the shopping centre Asda in the UK. So they brought Black Friday over, and Black Friday is the only thing we have from that because we don't do Thanksgiving. Hello, the Joke 60. Welcome to the stream. Christmas. I think there's a joke in the UK that Thanksgivings only exists because Americans need to find a way to have a holiday just before Christmas. They need to find a way to add that extra holiday in. But I think America has more public holidays than the UK have. Ah. Yeah. Right. We're going to clean this out. We're going to clean this area up here for a minute. I don't need ice. This coal, I don't need that too. That glowstone can stay there for now. So, might as well head back with this stuff. Yeah, I think it was Thanksgiving started as a concept. The UK creating it, 'cause obviously it was the colonies that created it. And obviously the day later they then hunted and killed all the tribal leaders. Which is quite a shocking thing. But yeah, not celebrating in the UK. Well, we got the start. Well, on paper, no, but on paper, no, Skate Punk. On paper, no, but the UK have the toughest army in the world. Literally, they said that it's do or die in the British military is do or die, if you get what I mean. The UK doesn't have a strong arm, has a really strong army. Yes, the UK does have a strong military because our military is probably one of the best in the world. The United States claim they got the best army in the world, which, you know, they have a strong military. I found this out recently. During the Afghanistan War, the UK had struggled at the start because they weren't used to the gunshot the UK weren't used to gunshots. The UK weren't used to the UK soldiers weren't used to in the Afghanistan war to like gunshot wounds and trying to save people who've been shot. But America's more used to that because you see more shootings in the United States. I remember this place. It's the first time I see you live. Damn. Cool. Welcome to the stream. The RAF are the greatest air force in the world. The RAF, literally, the RAF are the greatest military in the world, guys. The greatest air force in the world. Like, the RAF just absolutely battered the Americans to the point the Americans hid what happened. Hello, Galactic. Welcome to the stream. Bro, never gonna get so many subscribers. Why are you even watching? Like, the last 2 days you've just turned up, ripped apart my contents. Why are you even watching? Proud member of it. That is true, they do, Skate Punk, yeah. So, here's a good story for you guys. It's called When Britain Nuked America Twice. During the Cold War in the 1960s, the Americans were boasting they had the best aerial detection units in the world. So they asked the RAF to test them. So the RAF, I've been streaming for 2 hours. I've been playing this world for 9 years. So the Americans were boasting that they had the best aerial technology in the world. So they asked the British to test them. So they grounded all air flights in Canada. And the British were using the Avro Vulcan. Like, the Avro Vulcan was one of the greatest nuclear-powered bomber planes in history. You're an RAF cadet? Oh, cool. Yeah, the Avro Vulcan was one of the most powerful and greatest military planes in history.
if that had been a real war, the Avro-Vulcans would have bombed 10 American cities. 10 American cities would have gone up in nuclear blasts. The British absolutely battered them, and the British absolutely battered them, and they even sent a picture of the White House to the US president, saying they've been retired. Yeah, they absolutely battered them. So they actually sent a picture of the White House to the US president and said, "Happy sightseeing." And of course, the Americans covered up about how bad it was, because obviously it put America to shame. They said it was absolutely foolproof, and it wasn't. And then 4 years later, they improved it, and then they asked them to do it again. This time, 10 Avro-Vulcan nuclear bombers got through undetected. 2 got intercepted. 10 got through. Washington, New York, Detroit, Philadelphia, all those cities would have been gone. It's an amazing feat. That's just how crazy the British RAF is. The British RAF, they went through the American aerial detection thing, and what it was, it's really clever what they did. They all went single file, so the Americans tracked one Avro Vulcan, but then the other 10 got through because they were only tracking one. It's the UK. Well, they won't have to fight the UK, yeah, and a lot of Americans have said that. I remember reading something recently, an American person put this on a YouTube video I was watching. They're glad the British are their allies, because that's the only country in the world where basically they don't have give up in the thing. The human eye resolution, TVs can go up to 32, which they reckon is 32K resolution, which they think is the closest to the human eye. The human eye resolution is like... The human eye resolution is... The human eye resolution, they reckon, is 32,000. They reckon the human eye resolution is 32K. Which, well, that would be 3,000 pixels by 18,000. The human eye can see up to... The human eye can see that. It's incredible. Thanks to Britons. Yeah, it's an interesting... Not immigrants. Well, some of them are British. Some of them have, some of them are British though. They have integrated. Some of them have integrated. And obviously become part of British culture. You often find that the ones that haven't integrated are the ones that struggle. Yeah, that's 100% true. Like, there was a lady a few years ago. She was originally from Pakistan, and she came in the 1960s, and she voted for Nigel Farage's Reform UK. And she said the reason why she voted, and she said that she came over in the 1960s. She integrated. She learned English. She tried British culture, and her comment was, well, European. Well, most of the colonies. Yeah, it's a really what I would say to that British pufferfish is it's great. Diversity is great, but only when it doesn't. Integration and immigration are great things, but only when one culture doesn't outthing the other culture. So when you've got people from one culture that basically are starting to abolish another culture, that's when you have an issue. If you're talking about America, yeah, Native Americans. Well, you have Native Americans, which obviously the only reason Native Americans are called American Indians was because the Christopher Columbus, the Spanish guy that found the United States, found like South America. He initially thought that he'd landed in India. He thought he'd found India. So he called it. That's why he called them Indians. That's why they called Native Americans Indians, because they actually thought they landed in India. That's true. There was a guy in my college class. I think they do. But mainly, British people do tend to call the American people brothers. But it's mainly American people sometimes that's the issue. It's normally American people, like American people, for example, cannot understand that the UK is not England. The United Kingdom is four different countries that are united as one. And a lot of Scottish Welsh people and Northern Irish people get quite annoyed when they're saying, "Oh, you're from England." It's an interesting thing. It's really interesting, but they are. I mean, America love Britain. It's the thing. America love Britain, and they love the British royal family. The ironic thing, though, Skatepunk, is the Americans love the British royal family probably more than the British people love it. If there's something about America, if there's something about the British royal family, the American media are always talking about it. Americans are always talking about it, other than Andrew and Harry. Yeah. Prince Harry, I don't mind. I think his wife's a bit of a loon, though. No offence, but I think his wife's a bit of a loon. I wouldn't believe anything she's saying, though, just because she's an actress, so you don't know whether she's making half of it up, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, but what I mean, it's like Americans... I mean, he can't have a third term, because that would be undemocratic, and then it would... But, this is the thing, though. You Americans, you love our royal family. You love the British royal family. Yeah, the funny thing is, the Americans love the British royals more than the British do, and I remember my dad saying this to me. I remember my dad saying this to me. He said the Americans absolutely love the royal family because deep down they want a royal family. And it's an interesting thing, yeah. Because the royal family bring in so much tourism. You know, people want to see Buckingham Palace. They want to see Windsor Castle. No, of course I don't. No, I agree with him. I agree with him on certain points, like immigration. But I don't agree with him just telling other American citizens that they should be deported if they're like a genuine American. Like, he told a US Congresswoman that the other year. This was in 2019. I remember coming back from college and hearing it on the radio. My mum was giving me a lift back from college because she was in my town. She was in the city that I went to college in. She gave me a lift back. My mum gave me a lift back, and it literally on the radio it said, Donald Trump tells black US Congresswoman to go back to her crime-infested country from which you belong. I'm like, for now, like that's a bit tight, isn't it? And I think she was born in Washington or something like that. I'm like, Jesus, okay. No, the thing is, I remember my dad saying this to me. He said the ironic thing about America is they love the royal family more than the British people do. It's because deep down they want a royal family of their own. Basically, there is generally a political party in the United States called Monarchist USA, and basically that's their whole policy. They want to go back to a monarchy. That's the whole point. The whole point. There's a political party in the United States called Monarchist UK, Monarchist USA, and that's the whole thing. They want to go back to a monarchy. They want to go back to a more stable thing of a monarchy. But then, who would America's monarch be? because I don't think it would be Trump. I don't think Trump would be. I think Trump would be ineligible because his mother was not American. It's an interesting one. Who would be? Would they go back in time? Would they go back in time? I mean, that makes sense. Abolishing money doesn't make sense, but trading goods, that kind of makes sense. A lot of people want to go back in time now just because they don't like the way it's going. Like, I think we should get rid of bank cards and go back to cash. I think cash is much more better. If someone turns around and rips you off on the card reader, you know, they could rip you off 300 quid. At least if they rip you off, you're only getting ripped off the amount of money that you hand over. But George Washington had no relatives because George Washington had no kids. George Washington's children weren't his children. They were adopted. Unless you go for what's his name. That's true. I mean, I've always got cash in my pocket. Not a lot because I don't have that much money, guys. But what's it like being a cadet, an RAF cadet, British Pufferfish? I've never had anyone say that on a stream before, that they're an army cadet or air cadet. Never had anyone say that before. What's that like? Oh, cool. Do you have to be like physically? Is there like requirements for that then? Like, is there like certain requirements, like being a certain height, physically fit or something like that? Because I know the British military does it. I know the British military does have some sort of requirements like that. I was in the Boy Scouts. So was I. But we don't call them Boy Scouts. We just call them Scouts. I loved that. I used to love it. It was fun. I got pushed on a campfire once and my trousers set alight. Yeah. That was a fun day. You have to do a bleep test. What is the bleep test? I have heard of that. I have heard of it, but I'm not sure what it is. Is that when you've got to run for so long, swim for so long? But the NCO said that isn't fair. Yeah. What is a bleep test? I've heard of it, but I've never understood what they are. Oh. Yeah, running back and forth over a distance, usually 20 meters, which becomes fast at each new level. The test continues until the participant can no longer keep up with the bleeps, and their final score is based on how the last level they successfully completed. I would die, guys. I'd be dead. I would be dead literally after like a minute. After a minute or two of that, I would be dead. I used to be fast, but then I gained weight. I think I ran the. When I was in school. When I was in school, I ran the 800 meters in like 4 minutes. So that was the equivalent of like 2 minutes every 400 meters. Someone did it. The record for the 800 meters is 4 minutes. Is 1 minute 40. And the fastest for women is 1 minute 53. Jesus, the guy in my there was a guy in my school year. He did it in like 3 minutes 23. I did it in 4 minutes. It was fun. I won it though. I won the race. I won the race. I won the race twice. It was a fun. It was a fun thing. You know, we had a girl. She was really overweight, like really unhealthy. Like, we had a girl in my class. She was really We had a girl in my class. She was really unhealthy. Like really overweight. By the time that I'd finished by the time I come around for my second lap, she hadn't even finished. She was only literally halfway into. By the time I finished my first lap, I'd lapped her once. I'd lapped her twice. I'd gone past her at the start, and when I come back around after finishing the first circle, I passed her again in the pretty much same spot because she just wasn't running. It ended up, she finished it in 10 minutes. I had time, literally, in that space that she'd done it, I could have run it twice more. And been back. I've got to go now. Have a good one. And you, thank you for joining the live stream, British Pufferfish, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good rest of your day. But yeah, talking about that, well, we were talking about America, weren't we? Britain, America. Yeah, who would be, if America did go back to a monarchy, who would be their monarch now? Would they go for a relative of the British royal family, like the king's brother or something like that? Or would they go for the king themselves, because technically the last monarch was a British monarch? Would they go for like an American thing, like a Roosevelt or something, or a Bush, because two of America's biggest families? Interesting. Who do they go for? Do they go back along the eras and look for someone that's related to the British royal family, or do they create their own monarchy of whoever's president at the time? But the whole point of the monarch is the monarch never rules policy. Or would they want a style of what the British monarchy does, where the government is run by the people, but the monarch is the figurehead that basically keeps the stability, which that's what the UK does. That's why the UK is very stable politically. That's why the UK, guys, is very stable politically, because the monarch basically maintains the stability while the people control the government. It's interesting. America says we the people, but then it's not really the people. The average American citizen has no say about what their government does. Interesting. I had an idea about this, guys. I had an idea for a book, guys. It was going to be called American Emperor. I had an idea for a story, and it was going to be called American Emperor. And it was going to be it was going to be a story about a US. Yeah, it was going to be about. It was. I come up with the idea 2 or 3 years ago, and I wrote a little bit, but the whole story was going to be about a US president. Towards the he's in the last year of his 8 years. He's in the last year of his second term, but he's trying to find a way to obviously extend his reign of power. So he starts with like a national emergency, like a war breaks out, and they've got to cancel the elections and things like that. And he's trying to find a way to skirt into power, and finding a way to do that. After ever so years, he calls himself the Emperor. Swiss Rex, build suggestion. We are Alex. Build suggestions. No, I was talking about a book then. I was talking about a book idea. And the whole thing is this president would then call himself Emperor, but then he would try and think. The whole point was that gradually he would become a dictator, and his whole plan would be to try and invade Canada. But the idea was that Canada would try and put up a fight, but then the UK would get involved. I was thinking about how the story. I was thinking how the story would end. It would end with the British and the Canadians basically surrounding Washington, trying to get in, trying to take and trying to. Yeah, I was thinking this story would probably end with like the United Kingdom and Canada trying to oust him. Someone has probably built London. Someone probably has built London. Oh, they've got that thing, haven't they? Build the world. I'd love to build some parts of London, some of the older bits. There's a literally YouTuber and a massive huge team of people. They're building the world. And it's on whatever version of Minecraft, but they've built a lot of part of the UK. They built lots of parts of the UK, America. They built loads. Oh my god, my eye. Yeah, but I thought the story would end. With basically the US president's got nothing left. The US president that thought he was a god has basically got nothing left, to the point that, you know, Great Britain and Canada have basically got control of most of the northern United States. But I thought of a way that I was thinking of just at plot points the other day, just randomly, and I thought what they would probably do is they would probably go to a system sort of like the UK has, where the head of state's pretty much a figurehead that can only get involved at certain points. It curbs the power. In case to make sure you never have anything like it again. Like, did you guys see the Cameroonian election? 92-year-old president that's been president since 1982 wins re-election, and they're saying that they think the election was rigged. That the guy will be president for now till 2032. Where he'll be 99 years old. What do you want? Back in a minute. I'm gonna go and get my dinner. guys, I thought of a really good build idea. On November 5th, we're gonna do a bonfire on Minecraft. Bonfire on Minecraft. We're gonna do a bonfire because it's bonfire nights on Friday. On Wednesday, it's bonfire night. I'm still getting better at PvP. Cool. Yeah, it's bonfire night on Friday, a British holiday. So it's not actually a holiday. You don't get time off, but it's bonfire night. So I thought of a good idea. Bonfire night, but it's also called firework night. It's the same thing. I will launch a load of fireworks for you guys on here. We will have a nice firework display. And then we'll make a Guy Fawkes and then we'll burn it on the bonfire. On stream. That's what happens. Perhaps I should get that V for Vendetta video finished, because V for Vendetta is a film based on November 5th. The Gunpowder Treason. Remember the 5th of November. That's what they say, remember the 5th of November. The 5th of November, 1605, a group of terrorists planned to blow up the Houses of Parliament and kill the king. Incredible history, though. I'm just going to go and eat my dinner, guys. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
guys, I'm going to end this stream because I'm still eating. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.